Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Better still. How are you today? Eddie Marcus here, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. Now, what do I mean when I say basic human rights for all people? Let me let you fill in the blank. When you get on your knees to pray to a God, what do you pray for? Whatever you're praying for, usually it's something that you actually need, something that you want, or something that you desire. And those, my friends, whatever they are, as long as they don't cause pain and suffering to another, are basic human rights for all people. So my mission is to advise you that though these things do not exist in your life, it is because we're living a life of deception. And that if you want your dreams to come true, do not expect a miracle outside of you engaging yourself in the process. The world was created, it's a beautiful place. People were put on it to live beautifully. And the reason that they don't is because they took an influence of another. And now they're living as if they're in hell. I want to say to you, America, it is time for a system change. In America today, we have had, a few months ago, an expression of over 70 million people who decided beyond a doubt that they required a system change. They gave their support behind a man who definitely was talking about a system change, and it wasn't making it better for you, the people. It was making it better for those who gave him loyalty. And he was willing, my friends, to say that if you, the rest of it, if he got back in power and you did not support what he was doing, he was willing to have you put in jail, brutalized, and even killed, just to establish a different system on earth. Now, what about the rest of you? You voted against that. You didn't want that kind of system. But are you better than the 70 million that wanted something different? If you are better, what makes you better? They came from the same place that you come from. They lived a life of pain and suffering, the 1%, running everything as they have always done. And I want you to see this, ladies and gentlemen. For some strange reason, that this guy was able to get over is because people do not know that there is a God. They don't know. Even the 70 million people were calling on a God to say that this man was sent by God. They even said that this man was the Messiah. Some have even put him above Jesus, for whatever that means. And the rest of us, we're doing little things that have been established by a constitution that was set up over a couple hundred years ago. Nothing changed, really. But it itself began in darkness. And that darkness represented people who said it's okay with us. They had the power to say it's okay, that they were able to make it, and the power to say that in order to do that, you cannot be able to make it. That's the way America has always existed. Even if they say you have the right, even if they say it's just a level playing field, it was all a lie. Because people have always suffered. Always suffered. And the church that you have been going to, giving your money to, some of you have been giving your money to help the preacher live like a king. Got property everywhere, you know. Don't care how rich the 1%ers might be. You've got preachers out there doing the same thing. Begging you, the people who have nothing. They tell you to pray to God. Then they start telling you, give them money and God will bless you for giving them money. God might bless some of them through the preachers by trying to legitimize this by blessing somebody else, but you, the people, have always suffered. My mission, my mission and my message has and is to you that we can change things. Now listen to this. If a man, one man, I heard him say today that he was able to cause things to happen just by imagining it. That he could declassify documents or classify documents just by thinking it. Nobody would have to know, but when he called on it, or it was needed to give him some justification for anything that he has done, it was through his imagination, and you, the people, have got to accept that. And there are people, 70 million people, that were willing to vote and say, this is what we want. We want this one man to rule us. When you turn the television on, you can see the one man rule over in Russia. You can see how evil really materializes itself. Killing. Went to Ukraine and told the Ukrainian people he wanted to take power over them, come under his guidance. The same way black people in America has been under the guidance of those who've been making laws to say whether they could vote or not, making laws to say whether they can receive some type of assistance or not, or whether they can live in a certain area or not, or whether they can be gerrymandered or marginalized out or not. It's just that it's a little rougher in Russia than it is here today. But where Trump was willing to take you, it was to the same place that Russia is. And with a little bit more support, even the Constitution, even the law would have demanded that this is what you the people want, and this is what you the people will get. And what are those who are telling you about God saying? They are saying, go to church. Come to church. Constantly listen to us. Not on Sundays only. Come to us 5 days a week and let us tell you what God said according to the scriptures. And then go back home, and the next day you do everything you were doing the day before within the system, making sure that you oblige the system so that evilness, as it has been perpetuated over humankind since its existence, continue. And then you come back and pray to God. And you ask God to do this, ask God to do that. Now, you believe in a devil. Did you see a devil walking around over Trump? You saw a man. When you saw 70 million people go out there, or senators, or House of Representatives, if you see these guys out there lying, was that the devil or were they people? They were people that were making the changes. And God got people sitting on their ends, or getting on their knees, getting up, still homeless, still don't have food, still don't have any direction, utilizing the failures of the system, like getting caught up in drugs, trying to find some excuse, or trying to hide from your situation, or pulling your pants down under your butts, or walking around with guns, upset at anybody that says something to you, want to shoot them and kill them, or organized with suits and with Proud Boys, or all of these racist groups want to go out and kill. What is it all about? It's an absence of the truth. What is the truth? The truth is that all people were made by God. Red, white, green, black, whatever exists in color-wise was made by God. The earth was made in such a way that they, along with the gifts that he have given them, utilizing them, and the fruits that come from their imagination will never have to suffer for anything. And the whole matter is based upon a natural order of things, that the same power that was able to create the earth, the same power that was able to create humankind, living within the being, so that that being can be interconnected, recognizing that the joy of life is doing and participating in life as you have been given to do. And it itself is designed in such a way when it all comes together, you can live right here on earth as in paradise. Now I'm going to ask you something. This, my friends, would offer peace and prosperity and freedom and joy. It would assure you that your needs, your wants, and your desires are met at your leisure. Your dreams come true. No more dreaming, they will be real. All of this, my friends, is offered to you by God. I know you haven't heard that from anybody else. I never heard this from anybody else. Except when the enemy told us that when you die, you'll get it. But right now you got to walk with your head bent down and your back bent down so we can walk all over you. That's what I heard. But I'm telling you a different message now because I have been taught. You say, how was I taught? I was taught like this. I had compassion. I had a desire to want to know that if you suffer, I can suffer. If you hurt, I can hurt. If you can live wonderful like a 1%er, then I can live like a 1%er. But what distinguishes whether we do or don't? If we're listening to that power that has us all interconnected, that is able to cause you to breathe, but cause me to breathe, cause blood to run through your vein, blood to run through my vein, that power, if I follow that power, then I recognize that if we the people follow that power, we can have heaven here on earth. But if we run to a power that says, I'm pissed off with you and I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to do this to you to destroy you, if we walk according to that power, we will never have heaven on earth. But I ask you the people. I ask you the people, black and white, and all in between. Why do you choose the evilness? Why do you choose it? Because you don't believe in God? Well, or is it because you do believe in God? You see, when I say believe, believe means you don't know what you're talking about. If someone asks you about your mother, do you say you believe or do you say you know? There's a difference between those who believe in your mother and those that know your mother. There's a difference. There's a difference between those who believe in God and those that know God. It has been evident that since the beginning of recorded time in history, if it's that part of it that is true, those who believe in God walk according to that. What that basically means is that it doesn't matter that you have a Constitution of the United States. That's a wonderful instrument. As long as it protects the rights that God has given people, walk according to it. But in where it says that black people are 3/4 or 3/5 of a human being, now who's going to walk according to that? The enemy of God will walk according to that. Or somebody that believes in God will walk according to that. They don't know any better. And every time one knows better, as I was given to walk amongst the people, to talk to people, to see what people are talking about, to share with people what I'm sharing with you, to give them an opportunity to stand up and represent, run for an office, president or senator or governor or mayor. Give people a chance to vote that they want God's way. Oh, brother. I did it. I ran for president. I ran for United States senator. I ran for governor. I ran for mayor. All of these three positions, giving you the people. And the people who didn't go to church, the people who didn't know God, who said they didn't, gave evidence that they weren't interested in God. Probably they weren't thinking about me because they're being led by something else, white supremacy, and the fact that a person is black can't be doing any good. You know, they taught black people to not believe in black people. So you had an opportunity to stand up. Well, you had that opportunity, you passed it up. Each time I ran for office, you passed it up. You went for the opposite. And I made a prophecy at that time that you would be punished for that you were rejecting God, the work of God. Now, I'm not God, but the work of God, you rejected it. And that through that rejection, you would be brought to a position where you will accept the workings of Satan. And that's what you did. You accepted the workings of Satan. And just the other day, out of all the lies that Satan has told, you got googles of information identifying every last one of these lies. Every last one of them. The deception that has been perpetrated on people ever since it existed. You've had that information put before you. Now still, many of you will still embrace this evilness because you prefer evil as opposed to what we consider as being a loving way of life. This has been put before you. Why am I standing here today? I'm standing here today because you need help. You need help very, very bad. Today, there are people saying that America's getting ready to suffer. Not just America. They're saying everybody's getting ready to lose. They're saying everybody's going to be in a position where the food supply will not be there adequately to make sure that people have access to survival needs. They're saying that it might be the floods that might come down. Even maybe some fire might come down from a bomb. All of these things are happening. But if you're practicing the ways of God, none of that will happen. And if any of it happened, you will be able to stand with your head up high, your shoulders above water, and you're still walking peacefully, prosperously in life. Now that's what you have been given. And still, you reject it. I listen on the social networks. I listen on the mainstream networks, and all they talk about is the evil that's been put before us and compare it with what we call the normal way that we've always done things. That evil that's been put before us says we're going to go back in many states and we're going to make sure that black people and people of color are put back under our knee. We're going to take away their voice. They won't be able to vote. Why? Because they don't know any better, and they expect you to not have any courage. Why? Because to have courage to stand above this stuff, you need God. You need God to stand up behind this stuff. When you see this big organization get together, talking about spreading the lies, you always got one black person standing up there. Blacks for this evil. Blacks for this evil. And it looks like a barrel, looks like somebody painted him black. blacks for this evil. I don't see 2 people. I don't see 3 or 4 or a bunch of them. I just see 1 black for this evil. And ladies and gentlemen, yes, I am disturbed because when I go places, for instance, yesterday I went downtown St. Paul to care some business. On my way back, I saw people under the viaducts with their blankets. Some of them still, because it was early, still laying down. I saw them on the bridges. I saw them between buildings. And it's beginning to get winter. It's beginning to get cold. They still got no place to go. And where's God? Some people say, well, why don't God come down? God didn't take their bed away. There were human beings, man, a system that took their bed away, and the rest of you shut your mouth up and allowed it to happen. Many of you were in churches, shutting your mouth up talking about, look what they're doing. That's evil, so come to church. Come to church. Don't you know those people are sitting out there on those bridges go to church too? Looking for a miracle for God to come down and sweep the clean, and then you ask yourselves, where is God? I ask you, where is God? See, I know that being out here not just talking, but trying to do something about the problem, to make it better, that's where God is. Sitting up in a building, listening to some fake dude up in the pulpit lying to you about God. Do you know what they say? They even brought God down from Africa, or the spirit down from Africa, to go to where some of these preachers were, to guarantee that this evil monster get a chance to represent this country again. That was people talking about God. How do you think they did that? They're ignorant, stupid. Why? Because they was taught that way. They don't know nothing about God. And why don't they know anything about God? Because they don't care anything but about themselves. I had a person tell me the other day that the world is so corrupt, the only thing that they're concerned about is looking after themselves and their immediate family, and to hell with everybody else. Well, can you imagine 10 houses in a community, and every house is looking out for themselves, and to hell with everybody else, and limited resources out there? And you got to now be responsible for your food, your clothing, your shelter. Each of you got to be responsible for every last one of these. What kind of hell would that be? And yet, that 10 families in a general situation can work it out perfectly, the right way. But being selfish, you cannot. And that's what we have been taught. This 1%, this ability to utilize money instead of compassion, this ability to be led and manipulated because of whatever thing that you give a power to, manifest itself above all things else. Now, I mentioned something about the social media stuff and mainstream media, talking about the problems compared to the way things were. The problems is a manifestation out of the way things were. And they're saying, don't go down that road, don't go down that hell, stay here. What the hell are you talking about? Who wants to stay here? Does staying here? Is there homelessness? Why do we want to stay here? Staying here. Are there those who are without employment? Why do we want to stay here? Stay here. Is there those that don't have access to education? Why do we want to stay here? Are there those who don't have access to health care? Why do we want to stay here? Are there those whose dreams and wants and desires are being denied? Why do we want to stay here? See, when you really look at it, you look just staying here is just as dumb and stupid as following the mega group. Let me say that again. Staying here is just as dumb and stupid as following the mega group. Now I know there are those of you who won't agree with that. There are those of you who will not ever agree with what I just said. Now, why won't you? I'll tell you why. Because you don't know about over there. Now, you didn't know about that ugliness until they brought it to your face and started doing it right before your eyes when you couldn't deny it. So why can't we start doing the good things of life so people can't deny it? It's going to take a start. It'll start maybe with one person. And you better be quick with more than one, because they will kill them. The system is set up in such a way that that evil will not permit righteousness to exist unless it's overwhelming. And where is it going to come from overwhelmingly? Somebody said the church was established to do that. But the church is led by blind, ignorant people following the dictates of Satan. Or should I say, not wanting to be so cold and cruel, following the dictates of ignorance. And they think they're doing right. I'm serious. They think they're doing right. I remember in the Sunday school presentation I visited the other day on the telephone, I heard this message about people trying to say they're so blind that the systems laws that governs America, they think these laws are divine. They think if you can just get the people to obey these laws, then they're doing God's bidding. And that by obeying these laws, you're going to be okay. If not here, don't worry about it, because you're going to die, and later on, you can get your reward. You see, you were taught that by a fool. You were taught that by one who was being led by a demonic spirit, and you've accepted that. Out of all the pain, out of all of the suffering, you've accepted that. But I'm a little old now, and I'm not trying to be president of the United States. I'm not trying to be a governor or a United States senator. I'm not even trying to be a preacher. I'm just trying to speak the truth and walk according to the truth. And I want you to know that you, my friends, have got to change your message. You got to reach out for the best. And when you shoot for the best, not the best for yourself, but the best for all of us. That has to be your focus. And I guarantee you, if that is your focus, you will produce. Now, I was out maybe an hour ago, maybe 2 hours ago, I was out in my yard, front yard, and I had my robe on. And I was bringing this message to you. My wife looked out of the window and she told my daughter, tell them to please come in the house. I didn't argue, I just went on because I know they don't understand. They would be embarrassed for people driving by the street to see me standing out there in the yard. I don't give a stink about these people thinking about me. I got a work to do. I got a message to present to the people so the people can hopefully wake up. But, you know how we are. We don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to be a standout. So we crunch under the table and hope everything comes out all right. Ain't that something? That's really something, ladies and gentlemen. And it is the result of all of the hell that we're going through. And right now, this big monster out there that they say have been a monster ever since he's been on earth, who can now imagine things, and people would support it because he imagined it. Now they want to bring him to task. Now they want to say, we got you, buddy. You have abused us. You've abused America. You've abused our laws. And now we're not going to take it anymore. We're going to make you accountable. Okay, so you make him accountable. That one individual, is that going to, how's that going to affect the 70 million? You got guys out there right now trying to replace this demon, trying to be a bigger demon than he is. Now, you think locking him up is going to change the mind of some others? Well, it might change the mind of some, but some are going to believe that all they got to do is be smoother than he was. And everything is going to be cool. And that's on that side. But what are you going to do here? Try to come up with something that makes sure that he can't break the laws. Anybody in that position of power can't break the laws as easily as he has. But what would not engage in that process? You're going to stay right here? If you moved to the way of life, if you moved to assure that people could really enjoy this life. I'm talking about all of us. You don't have to worry about a monkey. You don't have to worry about a donkey. I think about when I see, I know I'm talking long, when I see the wild kingdom, and I see animals, big animals and little animals, eating each other to live, attacking each other, killing each other to live. And then I look at the human race. Big guns, war guns, against one another, just like the tigers and lions and elephants. Some of them got much more sense. Some of your puppies got much more sense than you, the human being. And then somebody like me can have a message, a divine message, and come and give it to you, and you laugh. You laugh. I know you laugh. How many of you are going to see this message on TV? Anyone. You think any social media outlet will tell you about the things I'm telling you right now? I've never seen it happen. Only time I saw it was when I spoke it. And very few of you have witnessed that through my posts. It seems as if that's a no-no. Let's not go there. This is a fool talking about peace. This is a fool talking about prosperity for everybody. What the hell is he talking about, you say? Well, if I could do more, I would. The only thing I can do now is go to the bottom where people are really hurting, give the information to them, and see if we can get together and go to places where it could maybe have an impact. But I've tried that in the past. That didn't work. Others have done that in the past. They were killed out, and everybody go right back to the same old way. Yes, but the people are saying the end is around the corner. It's coming. Everybody's going to lose. They say even the 1%ers. Is it true? I don't know. But I know one thing. The opportunity for you to begin to change, to receive the kind of life that you've been denied, that you hope for your children, and that you're hoping that maybe your parents can get a chance to experience before they die from cancer or MS or multiple whatever disease that they might have. I'm so glad that this is a day that I got a chance to make this post. Now I got to go deal with the system and how it's trying to exploit others just like they're trying to exploit me. Well, I got the strangest feeling things are going to be different. I got the strangest feeling things are going to be different. Thank you.